Good morning, everybody. I have a question for you this morning. Are you on track with your goals for this year? Are you behind, ahead, or have they gone totally out the window? We have some answers for you today. We are the Monday Mavens of Motivation. Please give us a like and a share if you're watching on YouTube. Put comments on our Facebook. We come to you every morning, every Monday at noon. I'm Carol Henderson, and we are here to help you reach your goals in life and have fun doing it. This is my co-host, Barbara Ellison. And we're so excited to come to you today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to like week 2.5 or so of 2022. And what Carol just said is absolutely true. Some of the things that I said, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, fallen by the wayside already. Already. But you know what? But that's okay. And that's one of the things that we are going to talk about today. So, but we thought we would talk about first, just exactly what Carol just said. Where are you in your goals? And you know what? The thing is, if you're behind, or if you feel like you just have totally blown it and you cannot you're just not even going to try to go back to it, I would just really encourage you to don't do that. So what if you messed up? Not the first time, won't be the last. That's what I always tell myself. Okay, Barbara, yeah, not the first time you've done this. It probably won't be the last. Because you know what? Life is a learning curve. And that's one of the things that we can learn. So that's a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. So,
and one thing I want to bring up is that so many times, and it's kind of jumping down our list a little bit, but don't try to do it faster. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done well. But
right.
You need to pray and you need to know, is this a goal that you're supposed to have? Right. It kind of is, a little different than most people would say, but if it's not something you're supposed to be doing, maybe you need to re-look at your goals, your intentions.
Right.
Because go ahead.
One of the things for me is that how often have we heard, because we're both coaches, how often have we heard that somebody is doing something, and then when we ask them, why are you doing it? Well, because so-and-so told me to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it's not your goal, it's not worth doing.
Right. And I'm gonna tell one of the things. Several years ago, it was, there were so many things out there on building a Facebook group. Oh, you need to have a Facebook group, get, for engagement and and all of these things for Facebook. I went, okay, not something that I particularly wanted to do, but I said, okay, they're telling me I'm going to do it. Do you think it was successful? No, I don't remember the last time I looked at it because it wasn't something that resonated with me. Mm-hmm. It didn't resonate with me. I love being part of the Facebook groups that I'm in, but I didn't want to be the leader of one. Mm-hmm. And now I have quit beating myself up for that fact. I did not want to do it. And so right now I do have a Facebook group, but no. It's barely there. I mean, I think there probably is a couple of people, but I still see some of the people on other platforms. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. But it's like, it was like, oh yeah. When I took the course and it was doing all the things, and it was like, no, this isn't something that I didn't even really like doing the steps. So I look back now and going, why did I do it?
Because you were told to.
Because I was told to.
It needs to resonate with you. It needs to be something it's a burning desire in you to do, just like this
or
is
that
for
you're
us.
Having fun with.
Yeah, we both love having you on each week, having your cup of coffee or hot tea with us. That right there is something that does jazz our jets, to be perfectly honest. We talk about it during the week. We mention it. We plan, not a lot, but as you can tell, we kind of wing it because, that's what having a cup of coffee with friends is. And that's what this is. It's having a cup of coffee with friends and sharing your do's, your don'ts, your woes, your happy moments. And that's why we want to have some engagement in the chat, or comments, whatever word you want to use. But we need to know that you're doing what you're called to do, because all of us have a particular bent and leaning, so to speak. You have things you're good at, things that you're not as good at. And we are both coaches, but we're very different in our approaches. We're very different in what we do. We both are in the wellness industry, but we have different avenues that we travel, and we work well together and share clients back and forth, because if there's something Barbara can help them with, I'm going to send the clients there. Same thing. If there's something I can help with, she sends them to me. And so we are just so excited to have you here with us today.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun. Like, one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm doing a little 1 minute, 1 or 2 minute video on TikTok.
You teenager, you.
Who knew? Who knew? And yet I'm just having, the thing is, I'm having fun with it. If it ever stops being fun, then I'll stop doing it. But I mean, I wake up and I have to tell you, I wake up in the morning and I think about what I'm going to be doing. Like I do. So now I do my little video on TikTok. I do a video, and I do this with you. I do another show with a friend of mine, Barb, and I have another one that's called The Everyday Riches Show, as a podcast. I love doing it. It just jazzes. I love your saying. It just jazzes my jets.
Well, and I love watching your shows. I mean, it feeds into me,
Yeah.
and there's even some shows that we're on a panel discussion together with other friends. And, there's so many ways to reach your goals. And so reach out to us. Tell us what your goals are. Tell us any struggles you're having, because we can help. It's free. Okay. Put it in the comment. We'll answer. And, and that's what we're here for. We're to help. We're here to help everybody do better in life. Women need to uplift other women. This thing about tearing each other down, or I'm sure you've all heard the thing about the lobsters in a pot. You don't have to put a lid on it, because once a lobster starts climbing out, the others will pull it down. Yeah. And that's not how it needs to be. We are not lobsters in a pot. We want to help each other to reach our goals and reach our successes. And so that's what we really want to invite you to join us in doing.
Right. Yeah. And just, like, for me, it's all about collaboration now.
Yes.
Let's see what we can do to support each other, because, and some people go, and I mean, I've had people say to me, Barb, how do you do this on Zoom? And how do you do these shows? And how do you do these podcasts? What if something happens? Well, you deal with it. I mean, like, I'm gonna tell. I mean, last week we were doing it. My cat knocked down my virtual background. Oh,
I was going to say that. Pulled it down. It was coming down in the corner.
It was coming down. I mean, and in these days, I mean, it is so nice having virtual backgrounds, but they are a virtual background, and I have a green screen. And my cat decided that so now I have learned to leave an opening for her, like she was just here. But otherwise she bats at it. Well, you know
Mine's a
what?
real background.
Yours
So
is a
I have
real
to come down
background.
here every time.
Yeah, you
Need
know,
to get me a
for
virtual.
those of us that don't have that luxury or that space, I love the fact that we have virtual background.
Yes, yes. And it's a beautiful background. What I like is her house is always so clean.
My house is always tidy.
Yes, yes. So we're telling you some of our little foibles and,
Right.
you know, I won't say struggles, but challenges. All a challenge is an opportunity to overcome, you know.
Something to learn.
Yes.
People learn more from a challenge
Mhm.
than they ever do from just going along doing something.
Well, and I'm going to tell off on Barbara. She was using virtual backgrounds, but without a green screen. And so as she would move, her hair would come and disappear. And we
it would
have
have
another
green-
friend that uses a virtual background. And so sometimes she's in the forest and she has a seatbelt across her. And
Yeah.
she does this. Or if sun's in her eyes and she puts the visor
Oh yeah, it
down,
cuts off her
face
head.
disappears because she's got a virtual background. And so there's so many little things that once again are challenges you overcome. She doesn't do that if she's on something recorded like this, but when it's like in our little mastermind that it's just us, you know,
Right.
and she's sitting there like this.
Yeah, and she's driving and she's going through Starbucks.
Yeah, ordering her coffee, but in behind her is like this beautiful forest or whatever she has up that day.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, but you know what? Talking about virtual backgrounds, they are all different.
Mhm. And you can choose.
Thank you. Exactly. You get to choose everything.
Choose something that's you.
Get
I want to tell off on Barbara. These 2 books are her books that she authored, but they're virtually on that wall.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, she didn't have it. So I need to put my books up. But those are 2 of the books that she's authored. I have a book that I've authored, and I'm waiting for a lady in London to finish up some stuff because it's ready to be released. And it's on intermittent fasting. I don't know if you've heard of intermittent fasting or if you've heard of autophagy, but it's all about those things. And it's a fun book. I enjoyed writing it. Barbara's read it. So anyway, you can do it.
You and I do so many things together.
Yes, we do. And it's fun. It's fun. You need to find a running buddy. And you need it. That's the thing. For years, I've looked for somebody that was a running buddy, and we could run on a couple of areas. But then Barbara and I connected, and it's like we're running on so many different tracks together right now that it is a blast. And we talk almost daily. If I don't talk to her for a couple of days, I'm like, something's wrong. And
and sometimes we talk to her 3 or 4 or 5 times a day.
Oops. So, and we've traveled together in real life. But our thing is, I don't want to get too far on bunny trails. We want you to be able to follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Put them out there. Put your intentions out there in the chat. And we'll believe with you for them. If you have questions about it, maybe we have an answer, maybe we don't, but I bet we know somebody who does, and we can hook you up with that person.
Right. Exactly. And I loved what you said about finding a running buddy. We can do more together.
Yes.
Than we ever can by ourselves. That's what we talk about, motivation. Motivation, sometimes you just need somebody else to say, hey, I'll do this with you.
Yes, exactly.
Or like one of the things that I want to talk about, because we all have times in our lives when we don't feel at our best. However, we do have the choice of managing our mood.
Mm-hmm.
So when we wake up in the morning and you're feeling all sorts of good and you're just jumping up and that gravy, and you tend to get more done.
Yes.
You get the right things done. They just seem to go and they flow, and we forget about all the things that, oh yeah, we'll just deal with that later.
Mm-hmm.
And you go on. But what happens on those days when you wake up and you're not quite so on task or with it? I'm going to tell on myself a little bit this morning. It's just one of those days. I just swear the devil was just wanted to make me crazy. Sunday, I swear almost everything I picked up this morning, I dropped. Literally dropped it. I mean, I think everything I picked up, from I spilled my dog's food. I put my cat food in one of my shoes. It was just, I got to the point where it was so, I was like, okay, fine. I have got to laugh about this, because I was dropping everything. And it was like, what is this? And then it was like, you know what? I'm going to just laugh about this. Because you only have two choices.
Yes.
You're either going to laugh or you're going to cry.
Well, and I'm going to give you a scripture on that. I'm a believer. We don't make any bones about that. Yep. But if you get up in the morning and you make your confessions, it says to make your confessions plain. And if you're having a day like that, your confession could be, this is the day the Lord hath made,
Oh, yes.
and I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Oh, I love
you
that.
have a conscious choice, a will, and you get to manage your day. What you speak out of your mouth today is what you live tomorrow and the next day and the next day. If you're always continually going, oh, it's awful, oh, yuck, you're going to be in a downward spiral. But if you're, reading Psalm 91, I'm hidden in the secret place of the Most High God. And this is the day the Lord has made. And, rise and shine and give God your glory. Glory. That's a song that I sing to my chickens.
Right. Exactly.
I sing it to my chickens in the morning when I let them out. So, but those kind of things cause you to be on an upward spiral. Which do you want? It's your choice. It's an act of your will.
Okay.
So
absolutely. And one of the things that I truly encourage you to choose to not, and it's a choose to not do. Do not check your email. Don't do it. Not right at the beginning of your day. Because nothing is going to happen in the first 2 hours that is going to be, if you're expecting a call about a life-changing thing, absolutely, then check your messages, but don't check your email. Most people, if they just want to send you something, they'll send you an email. It's not urgent. If they need to get in touch with you, they will call you or they will text you.
Yes.
Don't look at email.
And don't look at it every half hour.
And
set you 1 or 2 times a day to check.
That's it.
Mid-morning, mid-afternoon. The same thing when you get up in the morning, how you start your day is how your day will go. Mm-hmm. And if you have your quiet time in the morning and then you start dropping everything and putting food in your shoes, you can laugh about it.
It was the funniest thing. That was the final straw. And here's my little culprit here. This is tripod. And I was like, seriously, Barbara, I just spilled tripod shoe, and there happened to be one of my shoes that I had left there beside her dish. Never thought anything of it, but I was putting her food in her dish and missed the dish. So I now had cat food in my shoe. And that was the final straw for me. I just laughed. I went, okay, fine. This is obviously going to be one of those days.
And that leads us to distractions. There are little distractions like that that you can laugh off if you choose to, or you can rant and rave and let it ruin your day. But then there's those other distractions, the emails, the messages that come in, Facebook. How many times have you gone on Facebook, especially if you're in business and you go in to do a business thing and you end up chatting on everything there and wishing all the people happy birthdays and anniversaries and crying over children and this, that, and the other, let alone, thank you, Jesus, my Facebook doesn't get this anymore. But back in the day when people would have these fights on Facebook, putting things up that has no business being out in the public realm at all.
Yes.
So,
did you feel like there have been several times? Did you think about this before you posted this?
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to the emails. If you have an email and and it's like a serious email and you're having to comment, write it out and let it sit. Come back an hour or two later. And if you have to send it to yourself so it doesn't get lost, it'll end up in your draft, so it's not gone. But let it sit, let it marinate, think on it, pray on it before you send it out. Because once those words are out there in the realm, they don't come back.
You can't take it back.
And those words, that old saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me, is one of the biggest lies the devil ever perpetrated. It is wrong. It is not true. Words can be extremely harmful to both you and others. So put a guard at your mouth. Watch the doors of your lips.
Yeah, exactly. And be aware. Like right now, I have people that, friend me. I'm going to tell. I had a gentleman that, I'm single. And he friended me. He commented on one of my posts and then sent me a friend request. And it's like, oh, okay, fine. So I'll just give him the benefit of the doubt, because normally I don't do it on Facebook. But then it was like, I sent a couple. I will send like a couple of different things that I'm a grandmother, that I've loved, that, and certain things. And you can tell if somebody doesn't speak English.
Yes.
And the comments that came back, I went, no, this is. So I mean, it was just I just laughed. And, but one of the reasons why, Facebook has block.
Yes.
Messenger has block.
And have you ever noticed they're always military generals and stuff like that, high-ranking military men. And I've even had some from high-ranking military women wanting to start a conversation. I'm like, Mary.
One of the because I'm single, and one of the funniest ones I had, and and we were just having it, like I said, tell it like it is. He was a troll. And so I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to have fun with this. So I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And of course, then they're asking for money. Do not ever, ever, ever send money on Facebook. Anyways, so he asks for money. Well, his profile picture is an army uniform of a general. Seriously? And you're asking me for money? And so I said, well, if you need money, ask the government. You're an army general. Just ask the government for money. Well, it just got to the point where it was hysterical. I just had such fun with it. So that's one thing. But really be careful. Really be careful. A friend of mine was a victim of a romance scam on Facebook and lost so much money. But now she's very open about it. She really counsels women, and she works with women who have also had it happen. But, so just be really careful.
And
And
that's something I want to bring out. If there's something in your life like that, whether it's a divorce, an illness,
Mhm.
a scam, you may be in place to minister to other women, other
Right,
people who have had that problem. And they will learn more from you than from me who hasn't been scanned.
right,
Or, Barbara's a widow. She can
right,
speak to a widow where I can't.
right.
And so that's it's a big place that you can help others. So, pray about what you're supposed to be doing. And
Right.
when you find your right motivation, it will just, you will take off like
Yeah.
rockets.
Right.
It, like I
And
said, it'll
believe
jazz your jets.
it'll jazz your jets. And like for me now, I've really realized that I love working with midlife women who were where I was, had no idea who I was or what I wanted.
Yes.
All I knew was I cannot go on like this for another minute.
Yes.
But what do I do?
Mhm.
Well, I've been there.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like. You're just in an absolute fog, funk, stuck. You're just feeling what's wrong with me that I can't get over this. There's nothing wrong with you. You
Right.
just need a little bit, of guidance,
Little
a little bit
TLC.
of hand holding, a little bit of TLC.
Yes. Well, and my background is that my husband broke his back at 39 and
Wow.
ended up on full disability at such a young age. And we had 3 young children. And, it was traumatic for all of us in a certain sense. And he was like on 18 medications then, and then had 2 heart attacks because of the pain from the back. What
Right.
happened
Wow.
is that the surgery, not due to the surgeon, but the surgery went awry because of his care afterwards, immediately afterwards. And so then they added more medications, and I have gotten him virtually medication free. He's on a fraction of one medication and less than half of another one.
Right.
And from, I think the high was like probably 26. He had meds to keep the meds down. And, and I've done that, and I've done it prescription free, naturally. So, if you're struggling, or if you're a family member is struggling with that, get a hold of me, because that's something I love, helping people to get free of that, of the cost. I mean, one of our medications, well, 2 of them were custom compounded, so the insurance wouldn't cover it. That was $1,000 out of our pocket every month, on top of the copay for everything else. And so that was traumatic for me in itself, because at that point I was pretty much the breadwinner. So yeah.
And the thing is, don't you think, Carol, that so often people think that they're the only one that's going through it?
Yeah.
They feel that way. They know in their brain that they're not.
Yeah, but finding someone
Sometimes
who
it
can help.
feels like that.
Yeah. Finding somebody in your circle that can help, that can listen, that can say, try this, try that.
Yeah.
Is a whole new world, and that's one thing's beautiful about these virtual and Zoom and all of these things, is that we can connect across the world. And there's so many ideas and so many wonderful people out there that do have answers for us, but they might not be in our little circle of 5 or 6 friends in our neighborhood. And so that's what's great, is that, we do have that going for us. But anyway, we're pretty much at the end of our time. So closing thoughts, Barbara?
Just know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to choose. And sometimes I mean, even for myself, like I'm a happiness girl and I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. But once in a while, I have to call up something, either Carol or Regina or somebody and say, okay, yeah, fine. Tell me something funny. Tell me something that I can laugh about. Tell me something that
Or God will even have you put cat food in your shoe.
well, this morning I put cat food in my shoes. It was hysterical. That was the final straw that I just said, okay, fine. I mean, I was making my bed and dropped like it's one thing to be making your bed and placing your pillows. Well, one of my pillows went too far and it fell off the other side of the bed. I'm like, okay. And it just went from there to there to there to there to there. And it was like so many things. And it was like, I went out for lunch, got out my credit card, dropped my credit card on the floor.
At least you didn't lose it.
But I didn't lose it. Exactly. You can choose to, I just laughed. I just said, oh yeah, add one more thing to the things that I dropped today.
Well, and thank you, Jesus. You didn't drop your food down the front of your dress.
And I didn't drop the front. I didn't spill, runny egg down my front today because I was wearing black.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Every Monday, join us. Bring your cup of coffee or tea.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be drinking some, believe me. And hot cocoa.
Bring your comments. Bring your ideas.
Yes, your questions. Yeah. We want to help you. We want to enjoy and engage with each and every one of you. So we're the Monday morning Mavens of Motivation. So please share our page, share our YouTube, however you're getting us. Share and tell your friends about us.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.